Well, hi, I'm Cheryl. Thanks for joining me. This is Your Journey Yoga, and today we are going to do some stretches to help. I've had some folks who are dealing with sciatic nerve issues and piriformis syndrome. So, if you are one of those unlucky folks, there are some things that you can do to alleviate some of those symptoms and the pain that you're feeling. If it aggravates, you definitely do not want to do these stretches. So you just have to be really mindful of what's going on with your body. Exercise, movement is like medicine. It can be healing, it can be incredible, but you've got to find the right amount of exercise to really make it impactful in a positive way for your life. If you have too much, too high of a dose, it can be really bad. If you don't have enough, it cannot do the work that it's supposed to do for you. So really be mindful of what's going on with your body. Your breath is always a really good indicator. If you find yourself kind of gasping for breath or holding your breath, oftentimes you'll get a tightness in your jaw. Maybe you're squeezing your eyes shut. That's a really good indication that you're just too deep in the pose and the body's not responding to that super great. So you want to be able to get those big deep breaths in with those poses anytime. Feel free to kind of put these together. You can pick a few as we go through them and remember them that feel really, really good. These are something that you really want to do even when you don't have that sciatic nerve issue so that you can keep it at bay. So this is a wonderful thing to do as often as feels good to you. So if every day, fabulous. If it's every other day, every third day, you be the judge. But these are some of the poses that will really help get rid of that kind of pinching, tingly feeling, pain that starts kind of in the lower back, moves through your bottom, comes through your thigh, down your leg. So depending upon where you are, and if it's a chronic issue, yeah, you probably want to get some professional help. If these stretches and maybe heat and ice don't necessarily help, so just take care of yourself. But here are some poses to hopefully help out. And like I say, if it aggravates it, don't do it. So there's inflammation going on in that joint that's pinching that nerve. The piriformis muscle might be inflamed and not very happy. So if you do things that make it less happy, we're kind of going against what we're trying to get done. So breath, be aware, drink lots, and let's get going. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is just an easy pose here. So walking the hands out and releasing the weight of the upper body down. Just let your head be heavy. So releasing through that lower back, stretching through the glute, range of motion in the hip. Just breathe. And then you're going to lift just slightly and walk your hands out to one side. We'll go to the right and reach to those left fingertips. Just reaching through the left fingertips as far as you can reach while you press your left hip towards the floor. Now we do this often in our just typical normal yoga classes. It is such a great stretch. It just gets all kind of release from tension. Wakes your body up. Inhale, lift just slightly, walk back through to center, and relax the weight of the upper body down. And let's lift just slightly. Now walk it to the left. Reach through your right fingertips as far as you can reach. Wonderful stretch to release lower back pain. Let go of that tension you're holding in the hips. Inhale, lift just slightly, walk back through to center. And just relax the weight of your head. Now, depending upon how your lower back is feeling, you can walk those hands back up or lengthen and reach, core strong, hinge it all the way back up. And release that right hand to the floor, left arm up and over. Now, as we keep that left hip pressing towards the floor, can you feel that length all the way through the side of your body? Now, if your neck is having an issue, you can always turn your gaze down towards the floor or up towards the sky. Just find some place where the neck's feeling relaxed and at ease. Inhale, reach to the sky, both arms come up. Other side, left hand down, right arm up and over as you press that right hip towards the floor. Breathe. Long stretch through the ribs, through the waist. Inhale, both arms up, reach to the sky. And then exhale, release the hands down by your sides. Let's take that left foot, crossing it underneath us, right foot to the top, or the base of the knee, kind of the top of the shin, or cross to the top of the knee, kind of the base of the thigh. Sitting up nice and tall, pressing that right hip towards the floor. So we want to feel this in that right hip. If this is too much, guys, back off. Bring that foot back to the base of the knee. And we're going to wrap the crook of that left elbow around the knee and pull it in. Breathe. I want you to sit up as tall as you can sit. So we're really working to create space in all the joints throughout the vertebra and relax. So can you feel the tension? Like I just had super tension going on in my left hip, and I actually had to physically, okay, let it relax. Breathe. So sit up nice and tall. As you pull that knee in, you feel that stretch in your glute, your hip. Now again, be mindful. Just make sure that you're not aggravating anything. Now gently release that rotation, and we're going to switch sides. So tuck that right foot under. Left foot is going to come to the base of the knee, top of the shin, or cross. And it might be that you have more flexibility, more range of motion on one side than you do the other. Totally normal and just fine. Okay, so we want to take it to the place where we're getting a good stretch, where there's no pain, and we certainly don't want to aggravate any of those symptoms. So if you're starting to feel tingly or numbness going down your leg or in your lower back or in your glute, back off a little bit. Okay, so we're sitting up nice and tall. We're pulling the knee in towards the chest. We're working to get that left hip to connect to the mat. Can you feel that stretch in that left hip? Can you let go of the tension in the right? So you might be listing over to the side a little bit. That's just an indication that your hips are tight, and it's just fine. We're going to do our very best to get that hip down, that sit bone on that left side. And just breathe. Now you can always close your eyes. You can have them open. Just find some place, letting go of the tension in the shoulders. So we're using the strength of the arms, but we're not real tense in the neck and the shoulders. Beautiful. Release and circle that left foot around. Let's come up onto all fours to tabletop and then sit it back to child's pose. Extending the arms out nice and long. Now child's pose is just an amazing pose, a relaxing place. Some folks, yep, not so relaxing, and that's okay. So if it's that for you, I want you to notice where and why. Is it your back? Is it your quadriceps? Is it your knees? Is it your shoulders? So some things we can do to alleviate that. If it is your knees and you happen to have a towel, a blanket, a pillow, you're going to slide that right behind your knees and give yourself some cushion so that maybe you come up off of those ankles just a little bit. If it is your shoulders, your options are to stack your hands. This is great to let go of tension in the neck as well. Or bring your hands back by your feet. Palms open to the sky and just relax the weight of the arms. If it is your lower back, we're going to use support. You can also use the towel or a blanket or a pillow to help lift you up a little bit, or stack your fists. This is going to give you a little lift. It might also help through the neck. We just want to do our part. And if you need to lift more, lift more. But some place where you can relax the weight of the upper body down and let gravity take a hold of the stretch for you. And we're going to inhale up to a modified high plank. Core is strong. We're going to slowly lower ourselves down. Now, if your face is out in front of your mat, go ahead and slide back so your face is over your mat. Coming to cobra. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, we're going to lift just a little bit. Mindful, mindful, making sure that our gaze is forward rather than looking up and straining the neck. We have a nice neutral curve through the spine. Belly button is drawn in and up. And we're just focusing on engaging all the muscles in that upper back, middle back, glutes. I want you to squeeze your glutes. Tops of the feet remain on the floor, however. So if it feels right to you, lower back down. You can stay up. Now this time, as you exhale, we're going to begin to press through the hands and maybe start to lift a little bit more. Shoulders are rolled back. We still have that neck. We're still mindful of where our gaze is to keep that neutral spine. And you can start to extend even more. So wherever it feels right to you, only coming up as high as it feels good. So if you're straining and there's pain involved, not good. If you're straining and it's a really good stretch, but you can still breathe super slow and steady, perfect. Stretching through the belly, squeezing those glutes, slowly lower yourself back down. Press it back to child's pose. Breathe. Find your breath, slow it down. Now let's extend those arms out nice and long, hands shoulder width apart, spread your fingers wide. We're gonna lift the forehead, tuck the toes, and press our hips to the sky, coming up to down dog. Now your option might be dolphin. So you're on the forearms as opposed to the hands. Great alternative. Or the hands, and we're pressing through the palms of the hands to guide your weight back towards your heels. Long stretch. So we're really working to lengthen through the hamstrings and the calves, those Achilles tendons. Head is heavy, face is soft. We bend the right knee, left heel presses towards the floor. So again, we can do the same thing in dolphin with those forearms on the mat. Switch sides, left knee bends, right heel down. Can you feel that stretch? It feels so good. Switch again. Now my good, guys, I have heard is a little bit twisted. So if you're like, how does that feel good? Good is if you don't want to cry, there's no pain, and you know you're doing something good for your body. Switch one more time. And let both heels sink. So this is dolphin pose if those forearms are on the mat. If we're up on the hands, yep, we're still in down dog. So find a safe way to come to down dog. Shift your weight to your left foot. Right toes are just going to reach back, and then we're going to sweep that right foot through. Back knee to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. Use your hands to support and help yourself come up to a low lunge or a low crescent lunge or half crescent. Chest is lifted. Breathe. So we're getting that nice stretch through that right hip and down the front of that left leg through the hip flexors and the lower abs. Now reach to the sky, and as you exhale, arch it back a little or a lot. Again, always mindful, always kind. Inhale it back up, release that left hand to the inside of your right foot, rotate your body and extend. Right arm to the sky, reach up, high as you can reach. Now as you extend and lift, can you feel the strength in your oblique muscles down that left side? Can you feel the extension out of your shoulder up through the tips of your fingers? Now slowly release that right hand down, one hand on either side of your foot, tuck your toes, lift your hips, sweep it back, extend right leg back, not super high, but you can go as high as you want, and gently release it down. Now switch, weight to the right foot, left toes just reach back, and as you exhale, sweep your left foot through. Back knee down, top of the foot to the floor, support with your hands, and help yourself come up. So a lot of times when we engage those lower back muscles, we can engage, get a little more sensation of that sciatic nerve issue or the piriformis issue. So that's why I say use the support. You don't have to. So if you wanted to, you could just come straight up. But the support is key, particularly when you're trying to take care of stuff, guys. Firing up those muscles all of a sudden, if you don't do it properly and engage those core muscles, woof, yeah, it can be a bummer. Extend those arms overhead. And as you exhale, arch back, a little or a lot. Stretching through the chest, through the belly, strong through that core. Again, feeling that nice stretch through the front of that right leg. Into that left hip, we rise. And release that right hand to the inside of your left foot. Rotate your body and extend. So weight is still coming forward through those hips. We reach out through those left fingertips. Little challenge for our balance, so those core muscles are still engaged. Can you feel them? Now feel that extension out of your shoulder and up to the tips of your fingers. As you exhale, release that left hand down. One hand on either side of your foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your hips, sweep it back. Extend left leg high as you like, low as you like, and gently release it down. Inhaling to high plank. So plank, an amazing gift to our bodies. I know it may not feel like that sometimes, you guys. You can be on your knees, or you can be on your toes, you can be on your forearms or your hands. But plank, my friends, engages every muscle in your body. So to help us grow stronger, drawing that belly button in, we lift out of those shoulders. We want to do our very best not to let those hips drop so we're sagging. Always better to have the hips a little bit higher, but ultimately working to create that long plank position from the crown of the head out to the heels. Shaky's good. Shaky just means you're working really hard. It's all good. Slow your breath. 2 more breaths. So as we grow stronger, guys, all the supporting muscles around the joints that may not have the stability that others do, we get stronger. They're safer. They're happier. We don't get those owies near as much. As you exhale, lift your hips to down dog. Awesome job. So that should have fired up the furnace a little bit and created a little bit more heat. Let's pedal those feet. Just alternate bending knees. Walk it out. So we're kind of turning these stretches into a little bit of a flow. Always a good thing. Just a great chance to kind of get that breath flowing as well. And as you exhale, let both heels sink. We shift our weight to our left foot. Right toes straight back. You can go high or you can stay low. And as you exhale, sweep that right knee through, foot to the inside. Pigeon pose. Now we're going to walk our hands forward. Typically I would have you stay up, but we're taking care of sciatic today rather than just coming to our traditional pigeon pose. So I want you to notice how your body responds here. Again, getting in to that hip, to the glute, to the lower back. And let's slowly walk the hands forward, either fully extending those arms or stack your hands. Now your job is to just melt. Melt towards the floor. If you're having a hard time letting go of that tension, I want you to inhale and intentionally squeeze every muscle you can in your core, in your glutes, in your back, in your legs, and then as you exhale, relax them. So by intentionally squeezing those muscles, and then with your exhale, relaxing, that should be able to let go of that just kind of natural instinct of the muscles to tighten. Just let it happen. So you can stay here. You can stay here as long as you like. You can put me on pause and just stay. As you're ready, walk your hands up. One hand on either side of your knee, tuck your toes, lift your hips, sweep it back, and extend right leg. And gently release it down. We shift to the right foot, left toes to the sky. Exhaling and sweeping that left knee through. Foot to the inside. Again, pigeon pose, and we walk the hands forward. So there's some alternatives to our pigeon pose. If your knees don't love pigeon pose, it's fine. You can kind of fast forward through this part and then get to the rest of the good stuff. And let's slowly walk the hands forward and release the weight of the upper body down. So arms can be extended or those hands can be stacked. Just find that place where your body says, yeah, this is the best. Again, just checking in. We're trying to do our very best to surrender in. If you've got some tension and tightness, some resistance going on, let's intentionally inhale and squeeze every muscle that you can. And then exhale. Let them all go. See how your body responds. Hopefully in a good way. And it's kind of cool too. Kind of cool, kind of frustrating. But when you check and see kind of how your body feels on one side versus the other, typically speaking, you hold more tension, more resistance on one side than the other. What side is that for you? So maybe you spend a little extra time. Maybe you have to focus your breath a little more. Really focusing on those exhales on that side that's a little more resistant, a little more tight. Now again, you can pause me, stay here. Join me again when you're ready. Or walk your hands up. One hand on either side of your knee. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, sweep it back, and extend left leg. High or low. And gently release it down. We inhale it to plank again, just holding plank. Nothing crazy. You're like, this is crazy. So if you hate plank, oh, you need it. Okay, you're gonna get to the point where, I'm not gonna say it's your best friend, but you appreciate plank and you wanna own it. That's a beautiful place to be. Lifting out of those shoulders, lengthening through the crown of the head, core is strong. Breathe. Release your knees. Sit it back to child's pose. Extend those arms out nice and long. Inhale, lift just slightly, walk your hands out to the left. Reach to your right fingertips, press your hips to the right, and relax the weight of your head down. So a little different variation of when we were in easy pose with the legs crossed at the very beginning, but still getting in. So similar stretch through that right side of the body, into that right hip. Inhale, lift just slightly, walk your hands back to center. And now over to the right. Reach to your left fingertips, far as you can reach. Press your hips to the left and relax the weight of your upper body down. Inhale, lift just slightly, walk your hands back through to center and sit it back to child's pose. Just a couple good breaths in. And let's slowly walk the hands up. Coming over onto one hip, sweep your feet around and slide on down to the top of your mat. With the legs long, flex your feet. We're gonna take that right leg and we're gonna cross it up and over. So a little different variation of when we have the other foot tucked around. We pull the knee in tight. Breathe. This time, let's wrap the crook of that left elbow around the knee and pull it in. Now we're gonna add a rotation. Extend right arm out, lift it high. I want you to feel the length in your body, the length in your spine, the reach through your fingertips. Now circle that right arm around behind you. Hand to the floor. Press against the floor and see if you can sit up any taller. And then slowly take your gaze out over that right shoulder. A little tuck of your chin towards your right collarbone. Still using that left arm to pull that knee in. Breathe. We extend that right arm back, lift it high, rotate back to face front, extend right leg out, left leg crosses, up and over. And we're gonna pull that foot in just as tightly as you can, sitting up as tall as you can, add a flex of that right foot. Wrap the crook of the right elbow around your knee, pull it in nice and tight. Sit up tall, feel the length in your spine. Can you feel that stretch in that left hip? Now extend left arm out, lift it high, reach as high as you can reach. And then circle that left arm around behind you, hand to the floor, press against the floor, sit up as tall as you can and turn your gaze out over that left shoulder. So we're using that right arm to pull the knee in, creating that deeper stretch. So by lifting that left leg, crossing it over, we create space in that hip joint, helping to release some of that pressure on that nerve. Releasing, extending that left arm back, up, and release your rotation. Extend both legs out. Extend the arms, lift them high. Soften your feet, close your eyes, and slowly roll yourself back. Take your time. And relax. We pull the right knee in, bringing the hands behind that right thigh. Hold your knee in nice and tight. Now, if you have super tight hamstrings, quads, hip flexors, maybe you need to bring in that left foot, bending that left knee. Otherwise, keeping that left leg long. Now, slowly begin to extend that right leg. And you'll notice, hello hamstring. So pointing your toes. Can you make that leg as long as you can? Can you feel that stretch through the front of the shin, through the ankle? Now we're gonna fire that hamstring up. Add a flex of your foot. So you might need to back off of that stretch a little bit. You might wanna walk your hands up. It's entirely up to you. Using the strength of the arms, pulling that right leg in. Breathe. Now let's slowly draw that left knee in, sole the foot to the floor, bending the right knee, crossing that right foot above the left knee. Pull your knees in towards your chest, reach that right hand through your little window, interlace your fingers behind that left thigh, and begin to pull that left knee in towards your chest. Now nestle those shoulders down. Can you get your entire back on the mat? Breathe. Recline pigeon pose. If you like, begin to extend that left leg. Flex your foot. A little extra stretch for that right hip. A little bonus stretch for that left hamstring and calf. Bending that left knee. Release your hands. Left foot comes to the floor. Right leg crosses all the way over the left. Right arm extends out to a T. Left hand to the top of the right knee and just gently guide both knees to the left. And turn your gaze out over that right arm. And then just close your eyes. So as we move through these poses, hopefully you're noticing a little less symptoms. Being mindful of the parts of our body that really need a little extra love can be challenging, frustrating. Don't let it frustrate you. Be thankful that you have the awareness and the want to make things better. Movement, so important, guys. A lot of times when we get the sciatic nerves and, ailments of any kind, pain of any kind, we want to stop. That can typically be one of the worst things you can do, depending upon the circumstance. Release that left hand, slowly roll it back to center. Extend right leg to the sky, point your toes, lengthen your leg, and slowly lower the leg down until it comes to rest. Now again, if you need to pull that foot in, please do. Otherwise, left knee comes in, hands behind your thigh, interlace your fingers and just gently pull. So particularly with sciatic nerves, it can be painful laying down. It is really not great for you to be sitting all the time. Taking breaks, yes. Walking, super great, so long as you have a good gait. So if you are finding that your gait is suffering, that you have, walking up hills, not awesome, but just getting out and walking, but making sure that you are posturally upright, that you have core engaged, and you've got good form, good gait. Walking can really be a great exercise as well. Extending that leg, point your toes. So at this point, we're using those arms just a little bit to pull the leg in. Now begin to flex your foot and see how that shifts, that stretch, deeper into the hamstring. So again, if you need to pull that foot in, do so. If you can keep it out, keep it out. Breathe. Now let's slowly pull that right foot in towards your bottom. Releasing the intensity with the arms, crossing that left foot above the right knee. Pull the knees in towards the chest, reach your left hand through that little window, interlace your fingers behind that right thigh. Use the strength of your arms to pull those knees in and then nestle those shoulders down against the earth. So movement, guys, these stretches, and like I said, you don't have to do it all. If you're, write them down. Go through and you can pick the ones that feel the best. Maybe make note cards and write down each of the poses and then make yourself a fun little game and just pick 2, 3, 4 of them that you go through each day. And hopefully it can really help alleviate. Extending that right leg, flex your foot. Never like you guys to experience pain, so whatever I can do to help minimize that or get rid of it, oh my gosh, yes, I am up for that. Bending that right knee, releasing your hands, right foot comes to the floor, left leg crosses all the way over the right, extend your left arm out to a T, right hand to the top of that left knee, and just gently guide your knees to the right. Taking your gaze out over that left arm, this feels so good. I tell you, the spinal twists, I think, are my favorite. So just letting gravity take a hold of the weight of the knees, taking your gaze out over that extended arm. Just find your breath. Releasing that right hand, slowly roll it back to center. Pull one knee in towards your chest, that left knee, and then the right. Hands to the shins just below your knees. And just because it feels good, interlace your fingers, holding on to the just at the base of the knees. Relax the weight of the arms, let the shoulders just nestle down. We turn our gaze out over that right shoulder. Close your eyes and a little tuck of your chin towards that right collarbone. Just because oftentimes when we've got pain or discomfort going on in our bodies, we hold a lot of it in the shoulders and the neck. I want you to really let that go. Now slowly bring your gaze back towards the sky and then out over that left shoulder. Relax the shoulders, relax the weight of your head. So just by interlacing those fingers, hopefully you haven't put lotion on recently and your fingers are just sliding. But by interlacing those fingers and relaxing the weight of the arms, that just naturally holds those knees in, and it's a great release for that lower back at the same time. And slowly bring your gaze back towards the sky. Options, releasing your hands, rolling to one side and using the arms to help you come up to a seated position, or hands behind your thighs and rock yourself up. Turning back to face front. Sitting up nice and tall, resting your hands comfortably wherever you wish. Close your eyes, and I just want you to scan your body real quick. From the crown of the head, through the spine, into the hips, out through the fingertips, and down to the toes. With each breath you take, sending positive energy to every part of your being. Slow, steady breaths. And as we bring our practice to a close today, finishing with a few words, you are welcome to take these words with you or just let them float on by. I am happy. I am healthy. I am whole. Working every day on my well-being, inside and out. Let's gently open the eyes, take a big breath in, reach to the sky, and exhale, pull the hands to heart center. My friends, I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope your body's feeling good, and I hope it's just an amazing day. So until the next time, the spirit in me honors the spirit in each and every one of you, which means Namaste.